So I finally had some sleep because I was staying up all night waiting for ARK Genesis to be released. There was obviously a few delays, but finally we can now play it on all platforms. It wasn't the best of release because obviously like Xbox had some problems, then PC took a little bit longer. It was all a bit crazy, but as I said, at least it's finally here. In today's video, it is a very important one because not only is this going to be talking to people like sort of before you buy, should you buy this, but it's also going to be talking to the people that have bought this and are like, I don't like this isn't going to work for PvP, and I'm going to be talking to you the reasons why this will work and how this is a new sort of like start to ARK Survival Evolved. And if you don't want to play it, then obviously you can go back onto the old ones, but I really feel like people can start to get used to this new world of ARK. I'm sure they won't keep this the same. They're still going to be releasing lots of free DLC, but I really like the way this is working and I will be explaining in today's video. Now, as always, you guys have been smashing the like targets on the videos. So much support on the last few videos we've done on Genesis, so let's try and go for over 1,000 likes again on today's video. That would be amazing. Subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get straight in with the Genesis video. So in the background, you're just going to have a bit of gameplay, just so you can watch like the map and stuff like that if you haven't seen it already. But the first thing we're going to be talking about is why, well, before you buy. That's the main stage. So, a lot of people have been asking in the comment section, this looks amazing, should I get it? Is it going to be as good? Is it going to fail? Now, I'm going to give you some points about this. When I first loaded into Genesis, it was a big wow, like a wow factor basically. When I loaded into Extinction for the first time, which is the last DLC from the previous season pass, I was like stuck in a rock. And with this one, I came spawning straight in smoothly and I had no problems. With this new sort of like story mode type of thing, if you're someone that like, you know, enjoys ARK but kind of wanted ARK to be a little bit less messy and a little bit more together but still have the freedom of doing whatever you want, then this is the DLC for you. You spawn in, and obviously if you want to watch my episode 1 that I've done on the channel, then I really recommend it because you can see the whole beginning of how it starts. But you have your little companion with you talking to you, and it feels like you're actually on a campaign and you feel a bit more safe, especially if you're a new player to ARK and you don't really know what's going on. You kind of feel like you've got a guidance and, you know, and a little friend there to help you on the beginning stages, because I still feel like with ARK, if you're a new player, it is very hard, especially nowadays, to start up. Now, so that's one of the points I wanted to say there. Now, another thing is this is not an actual like map, it's a teleportation of certain like biomes. So it isn't like how you can just like run over to the lunar biome or get a rocket to go over to the lunar biome. It works in the sense of teleportation using your little device. Now, another thing I wanted to say is obviously so you can use that and you can teleport to any area at any point. I don't know if there's any restrictions or cooldowns right now because I still haven't played enough of it to know that. But also with your little companion, you can like fix glitches because it's meant to be a simulation, this one. If you guys didn't know, ARK has loads of different worlds, and this is like a simulation version of it, and that's why it's quite cool. And there's certain glitches in the simulation, and when you patch up that simulation, you get something called hexagons, and with these hexagons, you can then trade in your hexagons with your companion to get yourself, or trade it in for certain materials. Now, this has been obviously, I think, something that's been on like, you know, on the long-term sort of rise to come to the game, you know, things like having a market, being able to buy materials and things, and I feel like that's been integrated with a mod into this sort of idea, and I love it because you can get your items, it's really simple and really easy. And this whole sort of new companion, I feel like has been a fantastic addition because it really helps you throughout your world in ARK Survival Evolved. There are lots of different biomes. There is the lunar biome, there's the volcanic biome, there's the water biome, there is the Arctic biome, and then there is the bog biome. Bog is the easiest, and pretty much every other place is hard. The bog is where you want to be beginning your build-up stage on Genesis, but it is going to be a very tough time because, I mean, if you go to the lunar biome, you lose health straight away. If you go to the Arctic, you freeze straight away. So, and the volcanic one, you don't die straight away, but you will end up dying to some crazy creature, which is pretty insane in Genesis. So what I'm going to be saying to you is, if you're someone that's debating on buying it, I really do, my review, I've already said it on Twitter, it's an 8 out of 10 review because it's something new. You've got mini games, you've got a storyline. and there's, you know, a final boss to go on fight, and then you can still do whatever you want in the world of Genesis. So an 8 out of 10 review from me so far. Obviously that could vary over time, but it still stayed overnight, because, you know, I personally believe this. Gives you freedom, it's a load of fun, and especially if you're someone that maybe doesn't have anyone to play with, Genesis kind of is a game you can really get into single player with. Anyway, so the next part of the video we're going to be talking about is if you are someone who has actually got the DLC and is a PvP player. Now, the PvP community is going pretty crazy right now because they're saying, we've all paid for this DLC and there is no way this is going to work for PvP. This is stupid. I don't like this. What is going on? Now, with Genesis, it isn't your normal DLC. It's not run around on the map, land combat only, literally just doing the same thing over and over on every DLC. It is not that type of map. If you're looking for that type of map, play the old ones or wait for the new free one to come out sometime this year. I'm sure it'll be sometime in the summer, just like how Valguero came out. We'll be getting another one like that. But with this, it's more about changing the way ARK works. PvP players will, I'm having a feeling, are going to end up loving this. Underwater is always talked about how it's never used in ARK Survival Evolved. In this DLC, it's massively focused. They want you to have fights underwater, have build battles. I mean, when I say build battles, I don't mean like Fortnite build battles, but you know what I mean, like build your bases underwater, get your underwater creatures and get going. There are parts of land in this area, but they wanted to eliminate that as much as possible because people start complaining that the water isn't used enough, and then those people end up starting to complain because there's too much water and no places to build. But there is places to build. You build underwater, and that is the way they're trying to change this with Genesis. The lunar biome, I agree in slight bits for PvP. The lunar biome isn't the best of areas because there isn't as many places to build, but I feel like this is what they're trying to really make a change with this. As I've mentioned for like the third time, if that's all you, I know people are saying I've wasted my money because I'm a PvP player, but what you've got to think is this is still able for PvP. You've just got to adapt your game to what it's like. And I'm going to get people in the comment section to say I have no idea what I'm going on about, but I know to myself I do, because this is what Wildcard are trying to do. They're trying to make other ways of the game playable for PvP players, everyone, to try something new, because they've been doing the same thing for the last 4 years. And I know if that's the game you love and you've always known, but they're not getting rid of that. They're still, as I said, they're still bringing out many DLCs. I have no idea what the part 2 is going to be, but this simulation is a great new change. It's fresh, it's fun, and I really feel like, obviously, you know, this is going to be good for the game. Obviously, Genesis isn't for the new types of players. If you're Genesis seems to be very aimed at old returning players and constant current players, because, you know, it isn't an easy DLC whatsoever. It's probably one of the hardest DLCs they've ever released. So if you're a new player, I definitely recommend starting from the beginning on the island to get yourself your sort of, to get yourself building up, understanding ARK, understanding the world, and then once you feel like you're ready, build onto something like an Aberration, build onto, you know, and just try and go through all the DLCs I would recommend before you try Genesis out, just because of how tough this map is. Now, not only am I just trying to give you guys information in this video because I feel like it's so important, but I also want you guys to let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. Not everything is about me, it's about you guys as well, and this is what I love to do with the channel. I love to say my opinion, share my opinion, but also listen to other people's opinions and take on board what they have to say, and obviously favourite things, pin things, and everything like that in the comment section, because I feel like everyone's opinions are very valuable in this sort of world of ARK, because then we can build up a little bit of an idea and see how this is going to go. I don't know whether this is going to be a messy sort of release, and I mean, it's already been a messy release, but I mean, like, in the next few weeks, whether this is still going to be played. I've checked the Steam player count, and I think they got up to 80,000. I could be wrong. They'd have to obviously say that, so that isn't actually as big as Extinction. But the only reason why is because they didn't do as much promotion up to it, and that's the sad thing. I feel like this team are amazing, and they do so much for the game, but then when it comes to the promotional side of things, of course it's costly and everything, but there just wasn't enough promotion there. But still, at the end of the day, you've got to say, if you're a game with very little promotion, releasing a DLC like this, and you're in the top 6 of the Steam charts, and I don't know about Xbox and PS4, but I'm sure it's pretty similar, you are not doing anything wrong, and I want to give a big shout out to Wildcard for what they've done with this DLC. Anyway, that is going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you have taken on board a lot what I have said, whether you're a new player or whether you're a returning player, or you're obviously a PvP player, because this is what I wanted to get on a lot as well, because I see a lot of hate from the PvP community, and I feel like you just need to give it time to adapt. If I'm wrong, then I'm sorry, but I feel like get used to these new underwater battles, try something new. I know when you have to try something new, it's never comfortable, but, you know, at the end of the day, get trying. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. There's lots more coming.